you probably know Ronaldo quite well, I'd imagine, from your time at Man United. You were there, I think, throughout his whole career, right? The first stint, 6 years, you must have played with him quite a lot. So I'd imagine you're probably a bit surprised to see what he was saying last night with the Piers Morgan interview, or maybe not surprised. I don't know. How do you feel about what he said publicly?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, I've not seen the whole thing. I know it come out late, but I've seen some snippets. And to be fair, I was a bit shocked. He's got to this point, if I'm being honest. But like I said, I've only seen the snippets bit and what he said with Piers. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's one of them situations where it's obviously, I think he wants to leave the club. Me personally, I think you can do it in different ways and other ways. So I was a little bit shocked that it's got to this point, if I'm being honest. But listen, Ronaldo, he'll feel a certain way, and as thought, he's decided he needs to do it this way. So yeah, I'm a little bit gutted on the situation, just for the whole fact where it's got to. So like I said, until I see the full thing in real life, sort of thing, I probably won't say much more on it. But very disappointing on how it's gotten to this point, and how he feels about that, because he's been a great person and professional, when he's been here before.
That's it. And obviously the fans, they're going to be reading this and watching the interview, and they're going to have their own feelings about it. Do you think these risk damaging his legacy with Man United fans?
I mean, maybe some, maybe not. But ultimately, I always feel if there's stuff to be said, you do it behind closed doors with the right people. Obviously, this isn't done that way. I mean, listen, Ronaldo's a mega star, so he felt like he needed to do it this way, which is fair enough. It's probably something I wouldn't have done, and a lot of people wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
But that's where we are now. So, like I said, I will watch it later and put it all together like that.
I suppose the timing, obviously, he's not going to go. Well, you'd imagine now there's not much coming back from this, so he's done it just after the last game, just before the World Cup. I saw on Sky Sports News, someone, I think Stephen Warnock, accused the timing of, or said it was cowardly, the timing, because he was not going to have to go back and face the music. You think that's harsh, or do you think there's the truth in that?
No, I'm pretty sure that's the way that's the the way he wanted it to go, really, because like you said, they're off now, and they won't be back until December, mid-December. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely got to this point. What happens from now, I haven't got a clue, but I'm pretty sure it's up to the club and the player, because at some point they will have to talk about it. But yeah, the timing is so where they're probably not going to see each other for a while. So
that's it. I suppose back in your day, when you had like people like Roy Keane, Vidic in the dressing room, do you think they would have had how would you yourself, if you'd come into training the day after and you'd seen him, would you have said like that's out of order, or do you think it's his right, he's earned the right as the superstar that he is to be outspoken?
Yeah, like I said, listen, Ronaldo's a megastar, and it's not the way. I don't think a lot of people would have done it. Like I said, the way I would have done it is, you have to speak to the people at United. It's as simple as that. But he feel like whether he can't have done that for whatever reason, or he doesn't feel like he needs to do that. I mean, that's all up to Ronaldo. And like I said, I'm pretty sure we'll hear more now in the next couple of weeks to see where it's going. But yeah, the timing is so that everyone's not there.
Yeah, it leaves the manager in a difficult situation. Really, kind of, he's got to be thinking there's no way back for him now. But going forwards, it still leaves him in a kind of predicament, doesn't it? You'd imagine this World Cup kind of gives him a chance of a second pre-season, Ten Hag, but now he's going to be distracted by this Ronaldo thing, trying to get him out of the club or try and rebuild. What would you do in his?
I just think it's one of them. I think listen, Ronaldo's Ronaldo. and he's the most popular person in sports.
Yeah.
So listen, I don't. As a team, as a manager, I mean, he'll just deal with it. You know, he's got a squad of players there that he'll be more focused on. And this situation is a situation that's obviously not needed at any time for any club. But he'll handle it. You know, the manager is the manager, and he'll just get on with what he's got. And if that's with Ronaldo or without, you know, he'll just get on with it.
Well, I suppose you could look at it from the way Mikel Arteta dealt with Aubameyang. It's kind of the similarities. He throws him out, and now Arsenal have gone from strength to strength. Maybe Ten Hag will think this is actually the beginning of his real kind of spell in charge. Get rid of Ronaldo, and then we'll progress from there.
Yeah, well, I think in the summer he would have went anyway. So by the time we're back, you know, it's only the second half of the season. So I think, you know, I don't think he would have been here at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
But like I said, it might change now where he leaves a bit earlier. But again, you don't know. There'll be lots of stuff in contracts here and there to try and sort this out. But ultimately, the two people or the two representatives are going to have to speak at some point to try and get it sorted.
Yeah. Where do you think Ronaldo might go from here if he leaves in January? Do you imagine him going to MLS or sticking around Europe?
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. If he feels he's still fit enough to play, he'll carry on.
He's going to want more.
Sure of that.
He'll want more Champions League goals, I'd imagine. Do you think go back to Portugal, maybe?
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, maybe. But like I said, I wouldn't know. I've not spoken to him for a long time, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, just be speculating. Yeah, fair enough. Hang on. So one of the things Ronaldo did say was that he believes Man United have stagnated since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and that's almost 10 years ago now. So do you think that's true? Has there been much progression? I mean, obviously we had Moyes era, the Mourinho era, then Solskjaer, Rangnick. Obviously, he took a bit of a verbal tongue lashing from Ronaldo. Now we're at Ten Hag. So do you think there's been progress, or it has literally just been stagnation?
I think since the manager's gone, you can see that we've struggled. You know, the managers we've had, we've won bits here and there, but I think that consistency has still not been there for a while. And obviously, the new manager coming in now, I think he's done a really good job. I think the signings are really good, and you can see a progress. So, you know, I can understand the past. The past is the past. The past is. So I was in them squads. Them squads are unbelievable. You know, the mentality.
Yeah.
You know, that they were winners before even I joined the squad, and that just continued for many, many years. And to get to them points, it takes a very long time. So, listen, the progress is a progress. Like you say, there's also been Arsenal who have been in this position, who have, you know, flying at the moment with the squad they've got under Arteta. You know, I always say we'll never die, but we surely and surely will get back into it.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. I mean, the actual on the pitch results recently have been good. I think it's one defeat in the last 13 games. Yesterday, last minute winner from Alejandro Garnacho. He's drawn comparisons with Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of his speed, his pace, his finishing. How high do you think the ceiling is for him? He's only 18, so
yeah, he's coming and been wonderful, to be fair. And I do think the manager's doing the right thing in how, you know, how he's playing him. He could have easily have started the last 3 games because of what he's done when he's come on the pitch, his impact that he's put in for the team. Very direct, young, enthusiasm. He wants to do well, and I think that, you know, gives the manager a little bit of a problem, but a good problem. And yesterday, obviously coming on and straight away being an impact, and that's exactly, you know, the player the manager wants, and he's going to be great for the future. But at this point in time, he's doing a fantastic job, and you know, these sort of players come along every now and again, and it's all about how do you manage it. And I think the manager The way he's played well, and you could have easily started him, but he's not. He's put him on the bench. He's trying to keep his feet on the floor because he's such a good talent. I think he's doing it the right way.
Yeah, he looks like a hungry player, doesn't he? He's got a lot of fire in his belly, judging by his celebration. I think Bruno Fernandes said he didn't have the best attitude when they were on tour. Slightly harsh to maybe criticise such a youngster in public, but maybe he's trying to, like say, keep his feet on the floor. But at a club like Manchester United, do you think there's a discipline problem there at the moment, or do you think the manager's got it under control?
No, I like the manager. I like what he's done, what he's come in and, he's been strong. He's made changes when needed. I think any young player, I won't tell you what I used to do when I was young, but any young player will want to play and feel maybe, especially when we're not playing too well, that he could maybe change things. But I do think the manager's put him in at the right time of the season. A lot of teams might have brought him in early on and he might have fizzled out a little bit because he has had a couple of starts and he wasn't, he wasn't as, he didn't perform as well, but I think the manager's, he's got him in the right position, brought him on. First thing to be an impact player, with the skills that he has and the pace that he's got, he can cause problems second half, for instance. But I think he's managed him really well. And, I don't think you can fault the manager in that sense because he's come on now and, he's set up against, his assist against Aston Villa and his goal yesterday was really good. Top level stuff, but, Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it with the top players as well when they were coming in young. You wouldn't be playing every game, and you'd understand that, and you'd make sure you worked hard and done all that stuff before you started playing every week. But he is at that stage now where you're thinking, yeah, he can. His attitude's right, on the pitch, and he's ready to play more games.
So now he's got 6 weeks. He's not going to the World Cup with Argentina. So by the time the Premier League starts again, you'd hope he'll be fitter, stronger, raring to go. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's still, he's still growing as well. But like I said, he's got the ability, but he has got a nice confidence on the pitch, and that's all you can ask for, really. And he just needs to, as a young player, you just need to keep on working and not think that, you're there already because a lot of young players always think that and then can fizzle out. But I think his talent is there to be seen. Yeah,
it's got to be managed correctly. Now with the momentum United have put together with this run, how are they going to look to capitalise in January? Do you think Ten Hag's going to be given free rein to go out and spend big money, or
I don't know how it's going to work because normally the World Cup's in the summer. Someone plays well in the World Cup, and everyone's sort of after certain players. But don't get me wrong, I think the big superstars are that obviously all go back to the clubs, but there will be some players in the World Cup and people will be watching where they think, yeah, I like him. I like that person. He's a talent. I'd love to have him, at the club. But again, it's different because it's at this time of the year, and people are in contracts, and the contracts don't normally start obviously until after January. And who can we get and in that small window? But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of scouts and managers that will be watching the World Cup to try and find out maybe a hidden gem that they think can help the teams, and I'm sure United will be doing the same thing.
You'd imagine so. Obviously, Lisandro Martinez has come in, basically taken Harry Maguire's place in the team, really. How do you see that situation panning out? Can you see Maguire staying at the club, or do you think his days are numbered?
No, listen, Maguire is a great player, but yes, Martinez has come in, and when Varane was fit, they built a really good partnership. And I always tell people this. I was in a squad where there was loads of defenders, absolutely loads of us. But Harry Maguire, he will want to play football, and he's been the captain. He's been England captain. He's got a World Cup now, where he would have loved some more games because he's got games now for the national team in the World Cup. So yeah, listen, it'll get to the point where like I said, Harry will want to play, and I don't think anything will happen anytime soon. But it's like anything. I mean, even myself when I didn't play, and yeah, I was a little bit older, but you get to the point where you need to play, you want to play, and if the manager is not playing you every week, you know, you have to make a decision. Do you sit and wait, and wait for an opportunity again, or you know, there will be other clubs who will want Harry, and or do you go? But that's really all down to Harry, you know, and he will still want to show everyone that he can get in the team. It's as simple as that. They could anything could happen in this World Cup where people can be injured, and he'll be back in.
Yeah.
So it is one of them, and Harry will want to play as many games as he can. Listen, for Man United, and that's not been the case this season. So listen, it'll come to a time where everyone has a talk and see what's best. But Harry you'll do what's best for Harry, and that's as simple as that. But he gets a lot of stick because he's made a few mistakes, and I think that's a bit harsh. He will play in the World Cup, simple as that.
Yeah.
But like I said,
he'll probably see the World Cup as a chance to show people that he's actually still got it, and when he comes back to Man United, maybe he'll get another chance.
Yeah, listen, that will be on your head 100% because you want to show everyone you've got. It's like when you leave, when I've left Man United and played them again with another team, you want to show everyone, you know, that you're still good and you still got it, and that'll be the same thing. But listen, it's been a difficult one for Harry because it'll be hard because he's played all his life, you know, and he'll want to play, but he'll still want to show what he can do at Man United, you know. I mean, if he can go through a little phase where everything's good and he's no different, but the manager looks like he's definitely going to stick with Martinez, and obviously Varane's out and he's been playing Lindelof, so it's a difficult situation, but it's a situation most footballers go through. It's not a nice one, and it's then up to the player and the club to sort it out.
Do you think if, say, next summer comes around and Maguire's still effectively third, fourth choice, will Ten Hag look to bring in his own type of centre-half, another type, maybe not like Lisandro Martinez, someone who can complement him?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, listen, he's still playing it. He still plays Harry. You know, he's still giving games, and with Harry at the moment, it's more confidence. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like Rashford last season.
Yeah.
You know, confidence is a horrible thing in football. You know, there's a high and there's a low, and it's a simple, and you want to be on that high as long as possible because when the low does come, nothing goes right for you. And everybody has these seasons. But listen, Harry Maguire, he costs a lot of money, and the people will always be watching, and the expectations are high. So that's fair enough. That's football. But he will regardless in that his career and his life, he'll still want to play football. So that's a decision I think will come, in the summer, I think.
Yeah. So we talk about Lisandro Martinez, probably one of the best players for Man United this season. Who else has caught your eye in terms of potential player this season for Man United?
Luke Shaw, Eriksen, and Casemiro for me.
Yeah.
But Luke Shaw stepped up again. He's been quality because Tyrell, when he started at the beginning or come in, he did really well. So he's like a nice little battle competition going on. But I think Luke stepped up and got back to his best. Eriksen and Casemiro. Casemiro, for me, the first 3 games, started off a little bit slow, just getting used to it. He lost a few balls easy when he was trying to do his little turns. But ever since then, the way they can control the midfield, the way they don't panic, they don't just play back, they're playing around the corner first time, they can see a little picture. And I think once the confidence started going in the midfield, you can see things opening up. The teams will press. Everyone plays out the back now, so teams will press, and it's as simple as that, and there will be some mistakes. But I always see it as when we played, when people make mistakes, they then change the game a little bit. These two don't. They still take the ball. They still look for that forward pass, drill it in to the forward, open it up, see a little pass over the top. They're the two for me who have really shone in the sense that the combinations and the way we can, you know, keep the ball a lot better and see things. And them two in midfield are the ones, and Martinez and Shaw at the back for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been a big upgrade getting Casemiro in. I think that's the area that was crying out for improvement, and you can see the difference already. It's big.
Yeah.
Okay, just moving on to the ownership of the club. Obviously, in recent weeks, Liverpool have been put up for sale by their owners, FSG. Do you think there's a chance that the Glazers will follow suit and think maybe now's the time to cash in, or do you think they're still going to be here for the long run?
No, I don't think. I've not heard anything. I don't think they will. I think they're happy with the progress, and that's it really. I mean, I've not heard anything myself, so I can't. And just because Liverpool are doing it, I don't think that'll happen here.
Yeah, it just seemed to come out of the blue, didn't it? The fact that they're willing to sell Liverpool. I mean, perhaps it's to do with the downturn that they're on, but obviously the Glazers have been in situ for a long time now. So yeah, I suppose there's no reason why they would, but just they saw the valuation that they put on Liverpool. So perhaps maybe that triggered something, thinking, 3 billion for Liverpool. How much does that make Man United worth?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool, Man United historically will be worth a lot of money. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. But why Liverpool have done it, I have no clue. Regardless where they are, I mean, they're already back up in the league. For instance, yes, they had a bit of a wobble at the beginning, and there's been a few changes there, and they've not been exactly the same as they have been over the last 3 years, for instance. But listen, Liverpool have got a great squad in there. Jurgen Klopp will get them back in the mix, and what the owners do, as players, the players just get on with it, if I'm being quite honest.
So there'll be no concerns as far as you're concerned. In terms of Man United's season progressing from here on in, now at the moment they're fifth. They win their game in hand, they'll go level on points with Tottenham. Obviously, the aim is Champions League qualification. How realistic do you feel that is right now, given the state of affairs at the club?
Yeah, I think that's really realistic. It's as simple as that. I think minus sort of, I'm still going to say City, minus City and Arsenal at the moment. Them two other spots I think are up for grabs. Newcastle are flying, and I honestly do think they'll be in the mix. I don't think they're going to slow down anytime soon. There's a great buzz there at them at this time, and he's got them playing really well, and they're scoring a lot of goals as well, which is the main thing. But the competition, listen, Liverpool are going to be back in it, like you said. Us Arsenal, us Tottenham. It's going to be tight, and if anyone, I remember at the beginning of the season, no one put us in the top four. They said it'd take a while, but it is what it is. You look at the league, and we're there, we're in the mix. So the manager will understand that, and the players will. So you just got to keep pushing. And this league, anything can happen. City getting beat last this weekend. Little things that are not expected will happen, and teams are going a little run. So it's there for us. I think if we look at this half of this season before the World Cup, you'd be happy. I think the fans would be happy with where we are, because a lot of people wouldn't have thought that would have happened. But then you look at how we've been playing, and we've been playing some really good football. There's been games, obviously, where we've slipped, and if we don't, it's like if we don't do the dirty work, or the running, the getting stuck in, teams take advantage of that. But when we do that and match them, we've got some really good results.
No doubt. I mean, obviously the league is the priority, but then you still got cup competitions, Europa League, drawn against Barcelona. That's an enticing tie. That's going to be a great one to watch. League Cup still in that, FA Cup as well. So silverware is obviously going to be a priority too, but it's about how do you see Ten Hag prioritising the cup competitions? Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. I think managers, they'll ask the players how they're feeling, they watch how they're performing. But like you said, the Europa it's a good cup to win. And and I'm buzzing with playing Barcelona. I know some people are saying they would rather play someone else, but why not? Let's play Barcelona and see where we're at. Obviously, FA Cup still, and the league. So yeah, you don't prioritise anything quite yet. You know, you just go in every game and try and win it. It's as simple as that. Yes, as the season goes on, people are going to get a little tired and they might need a little rest. That's where you think about that. But at this time, you just get on with it. You're happy that you're still in the cups and still challenging for the league for the league spaces.
That's it. We've got a big enough squad to be able to fight out on all four fronts, you'd imagine, for the time being. The game against Barcelona, how do you see that playing out? Man United too good for them, or is it going to be a high-scoring game?
No, it's going to be. It's always going to be tight. I don't think you're going to see any big high-score games, but it'll be tight. And like I said, we could have got on paper an easier team, but I think once that game comes around, everyone will be buzzing with it because we've not played Barcelona for a while, you know. And yes, it is in the Europa, but it doesn't matter. It's two big clubs clashing again, and that's what I want to see.
Exactly, yeah. So obviously going back to the Nou Camp, one of the most iconic venues for Man United's. It should be exciting. I think you got to beat the best if you're going to win it at some point. So why not get rid of them early? See how it goes.
Some people have to do the hard way.
Exactly. So you mentioned there, you reckon Man City are still heavy favourites for the Premier League, but Arsenal obviously surprised a lot of people. 5 point lead going into the World Cup right now. They come back after that. They got West Ham first game back. Obviously, they're struggling. How far can they push Man City, do you think?
Yeah, well, the confidence is high. The confidence is very high, and they'll know Man City won't be going anywhere. I know they got beat against Brentford, but they know Man City will still be there. So they won't be thinking about that. They're just, they're defending well, aren't they? They're defending well, and they're getting goals from everywhere. You're not just relying on Jesus or Martinelli. Everyone's chipping in a little bit, so you can see like the squad's is happy at the moment. It's nice, and everyone's working for each other, and that's all Arteta's got to try and keep on going when he gets them back. He'll be a bit gutted that there is the World Cup now because they're on a good run. Because anything we don't know what's going to happen after the World Cup, and I don't mean with injuries, but this part, it's like he stopped this part, hasn't it? So they have to come back.
Like 2 separate seasons, isn't it?
He has to get them back and right again mentally, and that's all managers. So it is a little bit different, but you've got to give them credit. They've had some tough games and they scraped through. And that's why they're top of the league. City will still be there because they're too good they are too good of a team not to be there or thereabouts. And it all depends. Well, it all depends on if Arsenal can keep that going. And we know in the Premier League that normally doesn't happen.
That's it. It's like an unprecedented event. Like no one knows what to expect, so just have to wait and see. But speaking of the World Cup, Jadon Sancho left out by Gareth Southgate 2 years ago. He was playing a major part in getting us to the finals of the Euro. So obviously things haven't really gone to plan for him. Do you think it's a mistake to leave him out, or can you understand?
Yeah. No, it's hard. I mean, he's left him out before as well, and I think Jadon's thing is I think he needs to be playing, week in, week out. And I know there's a few players that haven't done that, but I feel he's just gone on with players at the moment who have been playing week in, week out, and there's a lot of similar players that we have. Sort of in them wide areas, and he's left him out. I mean, it'd be devastating. It'd be devil. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants to go to the World Cup, but he's not been playing regularly for Man United, and that definitely doesn't help. And people will say Maguire hasn't. I know, but we haven't actually got anyone else in that position. There's a big difference, and people keep saying this to me all the time. Say, but who do you bring then? And believe me when I say this, they can't name 2 people confidently. So it's a tough one. It is a tough one. And obviously you want all your players, you want all of them playing with the subs as well. But that's not the case. And this time it's very unlucky that Sancho hasn't gone, because last season to the end of the season he was one of our better players. But this season hasn't quite panned out. and he hasn't got as many games as he probably would have liked.
Yeah, you can see his confidence isn't quite there at the moment when he comes up against a fullback, takes him on, but then often just plays the ball back more kind of conservatively, doesn't he? He's not looking to beat the man as often as he was previously.
Yeah, he's got that ability to do that. You know, he has got that ability to do that, and he was doing it, like I said, second part of last season. He was getting at players, beating players, because his feet are unbelievable, and you know he's not quite been doing that this season.
Would he have been an option off the bench though? Like, it just seems, I'm not sure who exactly he's picked instead of him, but like you say, we've got a lot of similar players, but anyone that can change a game when they come off the bench, that's what I would think he would be good for. But
yeah, of course, yeah. And I think a lot of this one comes down to, because I think there's similar players in them positions, and I think a lot of it comes down to he's not been playing.
Yeah.
So the manager's just decided, it would have been tight, and the manager's just deciding he's not going to take him, which is a shame because he's a great talent. But he's not played as much as he would have liked, and I don't know whether there's been a few injuries in there as well. So you just never know.
So stuff behind the scenes you don't get to know. I guess Southgate's squad overall, how do you rate it? You feel he's picked the right strikers in Callum Wilson, left out Ivan Toney?
Yeah, it's a tight one. I love them both. I like both of them. They're different players as well. I mean, if you can't take them all, you've got to pick one, and that's the thing about picking squads for tournaments. It's hard. But Callum Wilson, listen, even when he's been injured, he's come back and he's still scoring. So, and I think he brings something different to the team as well. You know, he's a sort of a different player to a Harry Kane, for instance, or even a Rashford. He's big, he's strong, he can hold the ball up well, and you know, if you do need to get a few balls in the box, he can get on the end of them. He's a strong, powerful forward.
Yes,
and he's been doing it for Newcastle.
So I'd imagine Ivan Toney, if he had gone, he would have been kind of a like-for-like replacement for Harry Kane, because Conte's been saying how tired Harry Kane is, this and that.
Yeah.
But clearly Southgate got the faith in him to be able to play every game in the group stage and then carrying on going forwards.
Tony's been sorry mate, let me just say that now. Tony's been unlucky, mate. It's as simple as that. I think you have to take Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a goal scorer. Pretty much week in, week out, he's scoring.
Yeah,
believe me, I've got him in my fantasy team. I know. You know, he's Harry Kane. Sometimes you don't need to be involved in the game all the time, but when he gets an opportunity to go, so yeah, Harry Kane. Listen, he's been playing for years now, week in, week out. Not had many injuries. He's had a couple. So yeah, of course you're going to get a little bit tired. But for me, everyone thinks for me they're going to be tired in this World Cup. That's completely false. Everyone's raring to go for the World Cup. It's afterwards you got to be worried about
fatigue. Yeah. So someone like you played in more than one position. Obviously, centre back, right back. You had good flexibility. Trent Alexander-Arnold's right back by trade, but more of a right winger. Really, he's in the squad. How do you see Southgate using him? Because obviously the criticism that's been levelled at Trent Alexander-Arnold is his defensive skills. So
yeah, sometimes he switches off. I like Trent.
Yeah,
I think he's a player that we've not really seen before in that position. And you are completely correct. Sometimes he switches off, and his concentration levels defending has got him in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
But for instance, if we play 5 at the back, I think it's perfect. You know, we play the ball. Yeah, you just have to speak to him and tell him about it, because he can do it. He can defend. He just switches off. It's as simple as that. I was the same. You know, and if someone gets in behind you, you're pretty much struggling, you know, and everyone can see it. It's not like you can disguise it. But behind you, it's as simple as that. And he does switch off sometimes, but talent-wise and what he can produce going forward. And let's be honest, this has happened to him every now and again. He's just been more this season, where he switched off a few times. And that'll be because of confidence as well. But on the ball, there's probably no one you can see who's been better playing right back for England. Probably ever, you know. Obviously,
Reece James is injured, so
Well, Reece James is injured, and it's as simple as that. He probably wouldn't have gone because Reece James, you would have had Trippier and Walker is in the squad because he's just coming back now. So, but it's this is the opportunity to maybe use his skills and what he can produce, especially going forward, because he's very, very good, very talented, and he's gone along now, and he'll be buzzing with that. So he'll show everyone what he can do and step up. But yeah, sometimes, like we've just said, and on his defending, his concentration levels drop, and he's got to be more aware about that, because at this stage you get found out, and people will see it.
I see it at the highest level of the World Cup. I mean, you don't want to be getting caught out semi-finals, obviously final on the line, something like that. You can imagine, you don't want to be the scapegoat for England's demise. So fingers crossed for him. He has a good tournament. I hope so, man. I think there's no reason why he shouldn't. So nowadays he'll feel more confident, won't he, knowing that you'd think he'll start. So touch wood, it goes well for him. Another person though, speaking of injuries and people who weren't necessarily expected to make the squad, James Maddison came off against West Ham, didn't it? After he scored early doors and then came off.
Yeah,
that's football, isn't it? The highs of being included in the squad to the lows of injury. I don't know what the long-term prognosis is.
I think he's all right, isn't he?
He's all right, is he? Okay,
I've heard he's all right. And he'll be fine. But yeah, Maddison's different. Madders, man, he's it's tough. He's a sort of player where, let's be honest, Leicester are not playing brilliant. And he's the player that's stepping it up. He's the player who's trying to make things happen. You can see he's got great quality. And it's probably the hardest position to be in, because people are expecting you to step up. And he's been doing that. He's got great skill. He can score. He makes things happen. And, I think he's took that upon himself this season, especially since it's been going through a bad time, to make, create something a little bit himself and get the lads going. And I think
pressure's on his shoulders, isn't it? At that club,
it is. So he's just trying to step up. But like I said, a great player.
We remain to be seen how much action he actually gets in the tournament. But just being in the squads alone is obviously a boost for him. But now he's got the training to show Southgate that he's more than just a squad player, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that I thought they had to cut it again, but they don't, did they?
I think that's it now, yeah.
For this World Cup, they're sticking with 26. So
it's good. How much was it? How many players was it back in the day? 24?
23. I think it's 23.
All right, yeah. It's quite a big difference, isn't it? That's
good.
Yeah. So now England. What do you think England's biggest strengths and biggest weaknesses are going into this tournament?
Yeah, well, obviously in the Euros they were really good. I feel that we need to start off very well. Because we have got beat on a few games leading up to this.
Yeah.
And we just need to all rally. The manager needs to rally them back together and try and get the confidence going as quick as possible, because we've got great talent there. We've got to keep it tight at the back, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And, let the rest work itself, because the talent up front is there to be seen, and we can definitely score goals against teams. But for me, it's all about getting that same team spirit as they had in the Euros. And that's honestly, that is one of the key things for me.
That's going to be tricky, though. The Euros, obviously, playing in front of your home supporters, it gives you that boost, doesn't it? Out there in Qatar, it remains to be seen what the atmosphere is going to be like in the stadiums. But you'd imagine England will rise above that and just play their own.
Yeah, I just feel that platform where he was in the Euros has given the confidence now and the experience in a way to deal with certain situations. Getting to the final, and it's hard sometimes when you've not been in that situation because you don't know how to deal with it. Where a lot of these lads have now, they understand what they need to do, the mentality they need to be in. So for me, that's a big boost for them. But like I said, we have to start off really well against Iran, to get us up and running, really.
Build the momentum, yeah. Yeah. Last couple of questions then. So how far do you see England going?
I'll say win, no. I mean, it's going to be hard. If we got to the quarters, semi-finals, I'll be very, very happy. trying to keep everyone fit and get in there. I mean, if we were to win it, I'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I just feel it's going to be difficult to do that with some of the teams in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think we'll do well. I can't say I think we're going to win it because I probably don't. I wish we would.
Yeah.
But I still think we'll get pretty far. And then, listen, it's like anything. It's on the day. You know, it's one game on the day, and it's tough.
Yeah.
But you know, I wish we would go one step further than the Euros. But I just feel that.
I wonder whether Southgate. Do you think Southgate's going to switch things up in terms of, obviously in the Euro final went 1-0 up so early and then sat back? Do you think?
Yeah. You know what? But games like you said, games like that, it gives you experience, doesn't it? Obviously, after any game you lose, you always think, could have done this, could have done that. But it doesn't necessarily work like that. You know, a lot of things could have happened. But yeah, he'll see certain situations. Maybe if we're not playing well, we can change the formation completely, go something different. He'll understand that. You know, he's an experienced manager, and that's all we can hope for, really. As fans, we just got to watch it and hope that, you know, the lads do well and the manager gets formations and stuff right, and basically gets the lads ready and playing.
Yeah, to their maximum, yeah. And so, what other nations you seeing as the main contenders? Obviously, Brazil, I think, are the favourites.
Brazil, Argentina.
Yeah.
Brazil, Argentina. I mean, I normally say Belgium, but they never quite do much, do they, with the squad they have? But I'm going to say Brazil, Argentina, and I would normally say France, but I'm going to stick with the two South American teams.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, like you'd imagine the climate will suit them, or it remains to be seen how they play. Have you ever played in an air-conditioned stadium? Like,
you know what? No, I'm going to say no.
I don't think there are many, to be fair.
There wasn't many back in when I was playing, mate.
No, you played out in India, right? Did you?
Yeah, India was hot, very hot. Mate. Luckily, we played at night, so it's a little bit easier. But it's very tough, very tough.
Yeah. So whenever you're in an air-conditioned place, it kind of just dries out your throat, doesn't it? It feels like.
Yeah, I think there's quite a lot in American football now, isn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm sure, you know, if it's air conditioned, it'd just be cooler. So, I mean, I couldn't tell you.